Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stockminer, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And another update today, still moving along very, very slowly. Now, the Dow did finally reach its January highs. We had been watching for that. Broke above it, came back to close pretty much right at it, right above it, however you want to look at it, but establishing a new shelf of support up here. And it's just more of the same. Here's a pullback and up, pullback and up, pullback and up. This is just another pullback, maybe another move up. If you look at it here on a daily, you can see this was the point we had been watching very closely in the Dow to see if we could get back to this point. Didn't seem like it was going to make it down in this area, but as long as it'll stay above this line here, no reason to think it won't, and it did. Crawled its way back to the highs. The SPX did this as well, closing at about 1150 last Friday. Has since been moving up and over that point. So the logical thing would be to consider the fact that we will now move down, pull back, whatever you want to call it, now that the Dow has finally made this high. But that might be exactly what the markets are expecting as well. So we might see this thing continue to climb higher and sticking it to the bears even more. The strategy of getting in every morning and just holding till the end of the day and getting out has been very, very effective for the last week, week and a half or so. It's worked well in the markets and takes a lot of risk off of you overnight from having to worry about major gap downs, any bad news that might come out. At this point, you got to be ready for anything. We are very, very stretched up here. So continue to be very careful. This plays into my scenario well now from the standpoint of we have reached this high in the Dow. At this point, if the market rolled over and started to move down during the course of the day, not a big gap down to start the morning, but a move down during the day, we have pretty much closed most of the gaps up to this point. There are actually a couple above us that we still may reach. No reason to think that we can't. But for the short term, I would expect that maybe we'll start to look for some weakness. What is that weakness? Well, a break of this line. Keep watching this line. It has held very nicely since the beginning of February. This is my first line to watch for a close below, not just a move below, but a close below this line. Then, of course, I'm still watching 10,500, 10,400 for my more major levels because of the moving averages back in this area. Moving on to the NASDAQ, you can see on a 60-minute, same thing here, climbing up, now just pulling back. Yes, we do have a little bit of a red candle, but it's nothing broken from the bull side. It's holding above this 1930-ish area. That is the new support to be watching as we push forward. I'm still looking for a 1960, maybe 1970, as evident here on the daily. Yes, potential reversal candle up here, but we've seen lots of potential reversal candles that have turned into nothing. So we'll continue to watch for confirmation to see if we get that break. 1960, 1970 is still my overhead target because of the weekly. And this line here, 1900 now, coincides with this blue line. That is my bigger line in the sand for the NDX. Here on a weekly, you can see why I'm looking at that overhead area. This is, like I said, 1960, 1970 here. Yeah, I think we make it. I think we make it maybe by the end of the week. I think everybody's expecting this thing to go down. So you know what? It's going to go up. Markets just seem to have a feel for that. They seem to have a taste for that. I would just continue to tell you to be cautiously bullish as we push our way upwards, especially on the NASDAQ here. I really think this overhead will slow it down, make it pause, give it a break, something, since it's very stretched over the past few weeks. SPX on a 60-minute. Here you can see it resting up here. Now, I had been watching very closely the resistance area between 1155 and 1160. That was kind of my be very cautious zone. It held nicely for quite a while. It took a long time to kind of eat its way through it, but the bulls able to do it. We're able to break above this 1155 area, pull back ever so slightly, retest it, hold it, and now moved right back up and through 1160. This was a good sign for my subscribers to kind of jump in and look for a defensible long play here. That would have netted them, I don't know, 5 to 10 points. Don't know if you would have caught all of this, but if you're out by the end of the day, which is what I'm looking at, then you would have pulled about, 6 points or so out of this move. So a very strong move yet by the bulls. They just keep slowly chewing away through this overhead resistance, much like termites in a house. It just slowly brings the house down as they chew their way through it. And this is what it's doing, just chewing its way upwards towards the top of the house. SPX on a daily, you can see us breaking over and above this previous strong resistance line. Now, we did see the same thing happen back in here. So let's see if we get any confirmation, any follow through on this. I would also tell you now this overhead area is now 1160. That was another reason I was watching the 1155 to 1160 area. So on a pullback, watch for 1160 to hold. That should act as support now and might be what we see over the next couple days. Maybe some slow days of trading again in a pullback such as this, coming back to retest not only this blue line but this 1160 area, and we'll see if that area can hold on a couple of tests. From a weekly standpoint, now up and over the 1150, gonna have to close there, but the Nasdaq's done it, Russells have done it. Why wouldn't the SPX? I don't know. Great question. I really think it will by the end of the week. I think we'll see this thing maybe chew its way up here and eventually close above this 1150 area. As long as we continue sideways, we're going to have to look for up. Sideways to up, sideways to up. That's the way it's been now for the last few weeks. Continue to watch that action. VIX on a daily, there we go, dropping down, way down today. Really, way down today, showing still absolutely no fear in the markets. Did hit our blue line, hit our green line, and has been holding very, very well down here so far. So this was the area I said to look for support. We hit it. Blue line, green line. This should act as very strong support. Now I would actually look for this area to kind of hold coming into the end of the week. I would assume that we're going to end up right around in this area by the close of Friday. Apple on a 60-minute, down 33 cents today, still struggling to find its direction here. You can